Respiration in organisms. Lesson preview. Respiration and its importance. Types of respiration. Breathing. Mechanism of breathing. Breathing in different animals. Respiration in plants. Respiration is one of the most important life processes common to all living organisms. Respiration and its importance. All living things need energy to do work, just as machines need energy to run. All living organisms are made up of a number of cells. A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. Each cell performs various functions of life such as nutrition, digestion, absorption, etc. To perform these functions, cells need energy. Our body requires energy when we are eating, running, reading, or even sleeping. Where does this energy come from? This energy is produced in the body from the food we eat. The food has stored energy which is released during respiration. Therefore, we respire to produce energy needed by the body for doing various activities. When we breathe, we take in oxygen and breathe out air rich in carbon dioxide. The air we breathe in is transported to the cells. In the cells, glucose is oxidized in the presence of oxygen to release energy, water, and carbon dioxide. Thus, respiration is the process of taking in oxygen, using it for releasing energy by oxidation on a food, and eliminating the waste products such as carbon dioxide and water. Main processes of respiration. The two main processes of respiration are external respiration or breathing, i.e. taking in oxygen-rich air, inhalation, and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide, exhalation. Internal respiration or cellular respiration, i.e. using oxygen to break down food to release energy. This occurs in the body cells. Glucose molecules, food, react with oxygen and break down into carbon dioxide and water to release energy. The balanced equation for cellular respiration is C6H12O6, glucose, plus 6O2, oxygen, 6CO2, carbon dioxide, plus 6H2O, water, plus energy. Types of respiration. Respiration is of two types, aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. The process of respiration which requires the presence of oxygen is called aerobic respiration. The breakdown of glucose occurs in the presence of oxygen. A large amount of energy is produced along with water and carbon dioxide. Glucose plus oxygen, carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Anaerobic respiration. Respiration which occurs without using oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. In this process, very little energy is produced. Glucose is broken down to ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide with the production of energy. Glucose anaerobic respiration. Alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy. Our muscle cells can respire anaerobically, but for only a very short time. They do so when we perform heavy and vigorous exercises, and the demand of energy increases, but the supply of oxygen is limited. To obtain the additional energy, anaerobic respiration takes place within our muscle cells. In the process, glucose in muscles breaks down partially and produces energy and lactic acid. Glucose in muscles, lactic acid plus energy. Anaerobic respiration. This lactic acid accumulates in the muscles and causes muscle cramps. We get relief from cramps by hot water, bath or massage. This is because the blood circulation improves, which in turn improves the supply of oxygen to the muscles. This helps to convert lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water, and the pain subsides. Anaerobic respiration takes place in certain organisms like yeast and bacteria. They can survive even in absence of air and are called anaerobes. Yeast is used to make wine and beer as it breaks down glucose into alcohol. Breathing. The process of taking in fresh air rich in oxygen and giving out air rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs is called breathing. The process of taking in air rich in oxygen is called inhalation, and the process of giving out air rich in carbon dioxide is called exhalation. Respiration is a continuous process which goes on till 1 lives. The number of time a person breathes in 1 minute is called the breathing rate. During breathing, inhalation and exhalation take place alternately and continuously. The breathing rate of a normal individual at rest is 15 to 18 times per minute. The breathing rate is not constant. It depends on the oxygen requirement of the body. When the body works hard, breathing rate increases as the energy requirement increases. As a result, more oxygen is supplied to the cells and more food is broken down to supply energy. This is the reason why you feel hungry after doing strenuous exercise. During heavy exercise, breathing rate can increase up to 25 times per minute. You must have often wondered why we yawn when we are sleepy or drowsy. This happens because the lungs do not take in enough oxygen from the air. This leads to oxygen shortage in the body. We yawn to meet this shortage of oxygen. Yawn is actually a long deep breath. How do we breathe? The human respiratory system consists of the following: nostrils, nasal cavity, trachea, bronchi, lungs. When we breathe in, the air enters our nose through the nostrils. The air we breathe in may contain dust, pollen, smoke, etc. Our nasal cavity contains hair which entrap the dust particles and other irritants, and prevent them from reaching the lungs. At times, these particles may get past the hair in the nasal cavity. They then irritate the nasal cavity and we sneeze. Sneezing throws out these foreign particles from the inhaled air. From the nasal cavity, the air reaches the lungs through the trachea, windpipe, and bronchi, singular, bronchus. 1 bronchus enters each lung. Lungs are present in the chest cavity. They are surrounded by ribs on all the sides. A large muscular sheet called the diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. The diaphragm muscles and the rib cage move during the breathing process. Human respiratory system: nose, trachea, lung, diaphragm. Mechanism of breathing. Have you felt your chest moving up and down as you breathe? During inhalation, the ribs move up and outwards, and the diaphragm moves down. This movement increases the volume of the chest cavity. The volume of the lungs increases and the pressure inside them decreases. As a result, air rushes into the lungs. The lungs inflate as they get filled with air. The chest expands during inhalation. During exhalation, ribs move down and inwards and the diaphragm moves up to its former position. This reduces the volume of the chest cavity and the lungs contract. The air inside the lungs is pushed out due to the increase in pressure inside the lungs. The process of breathing: inhalation, exhalation. Let us make a simple model to demonstrate the mechanism of breathing. Activity: mechanism of breathing through lungs. Take a wide plastic bottle and cut off its bottom. Take a Y-shaped glass or plastic tube. Fix a rubber cork into the mouth of the bottle to make it airtight. Make a hole in the center of the cork so that the tube can pass through it. Fix 2 deflated balloons to the ends of the Y tube. To the base of the bottle, tie a thin rubber or Platts sheet with the help of a string or a rubber band. The model is ready. A. Pull the rubber sheet down gently and observe the balloons. B. Now push the rubber sheet up and see what happens to the balloons. The balloons represent the 2 lungs and the rubber sheet represents the diaphragm. When rubber is pulled down, space inside the bottle increases, pressure in the bottle decreases and air from outside pushes into the balloons and they get inflated. When the rubber sheet is released or pushed up, space in the bottle decreases, pressure in the bottle increases, and air is forced out of the balloons. The balloons deflate. What do we breathe out? The air we breathe out, exhaled air, contains carbon dioxide and water. Let us perform a simple activity to confirm this. Activity. To show that exhaled air contains CO2, take a small quantity of freshly prepared lime water in a test tube. Close the mouth of the tube with a cork. Insert a straw through the hole in the cork so that one end of it may dip into the lime water. Blow through the straw. A few tea may. What do you observe? The lime water turns milky. This shows that the exhaled air contains carbon dioxide. CaO2 plus CO2 cork O3 plus H2O. Activity. Breathe out on a clean mirror for a few minutes. What do you see on the mirror? The mirror becomes hazy due to the deposition of water droplets. This shows that exhaled air contains moisture. Inhaled air contains approximately 21% oxygen and 0.03% carbon dioxide, whereas the exhaled air contains approximately 16.4% oxygen and 4.4% carbon dioxide. Breathing in different animals. Different animals breathe through different parts of their body. Various animals living on land like lion, cow, horse, elephant, cat, dog, frog, lizard, and snake have lungs. But many other organisms have different organs for breathing. Let us study some of them. Cockroach. Cockroaches have small openings on the sides of their bodies. These openings are called spiracles. Air enters the body through these spiracles and is carried through tubes called tracheal tubes. Oxygen diffuses into the body tissues and reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves out through the spiracles. Besides cockroaches, several other insects also have spiracles. Tracheal system in cockroach. Spiracles. Earthworm. Earthworms breathe through their skin. Their skin is moist and slippery. Exchange of gases takes place through the skin. Frogs can also breathe through their skin when in water. Their skin is also moist and slippery. Earthworm. Moist skin. Fish. Fish breathe through their gills. Gills help them to use the dissolved oxygen in water. Gills are projections of the skin which are well supplied with blood vessels for the exchange of gases. Breathing organs in fish. Gills. Respiration in plants. Plants also respire just like other living things. They also need oxygen for survival. In plants, respiration can take place independently through different parts such as roots, stems, and leaves. In plants, exchange of gases takes place through tiny holes called stomata, present on the surface of their leaves. The root cells also need oxygen to produce energy. Roots take in oxygen that is available in the small spaces between soil particles and give out carbon dioxide. Now you can guess why farmers plow or till the soil. In the cells of the plant, oxygen is used up to break down glucose into carbon dioxide and water just as in other organisms. In plants, both photosynthesis and respiration take place during the etime. More oxygen is released during the process of photosynthesis than is absorbed during respiration. Therefore, there is a net release of oxygen and a net absorption of carbon dioxide by plants in the etime. However, photosynthesis does not occur at night, but only respiration